121 points, Mark Springer, a franchised record for the Colorado Avalanche as they close out the 2025-26 regular season with a 2-0 win over the Seattle Kraken. I'm not going to spend a single damn second talking about that game because, well, it doesn't matter, much like the other games haven't mattered this week. Colorado, though, was scoreboard watching the entire evening, and they will take on the Los Angeles Kings in round one, game one of the Western Conference playoff bracket. That will be Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. You can watch it on Altitude. You can listen to it right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Spring and I will have a 1-hour extended pregame show starting at, I believe, 11:30 a.m. at Brooklyn's, right on Shopper Circle. We'll be live out there with Tyson Berry and part of the Avs alumni. Come on out there, have some chili ones with us. I cannot wait for the postseason, man. The playoffs are finally here.
I mean, I'll say this about tonight's game. Nick Blankenberg's a good little player. Like him. Cale Makar, nice pass to Parker Kelly. Parker Kelly, I can't wait to watch him in the playoffs. He's going to be a factor. Like, he's going to do something. Parker Kelly's doing something. There you go. Those are my thoughts on tonight's game.
And a shutout from Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah, Scott Wedgwood looked good. He looked good. The LA Kings, bring it on. You know, now that we know it's the Kings, now I'm really trying to just familiarize and, learn all my ins and outs about what exactly is going on with the LA Kings. It looks like, and I'm trying to find out, was Darcy Kemper hurt recently? Anton Forsberg has started 5 out of the last 6 games for the Kings. Is this an Anton Forsberg team now? Is it not even a Darcy Kemper team? Either way, I think the Avs are, I saw they had this on ESPN tonight, minus 425 to win the series on DraftKings.
That feels lower than I thought it was going to be.
Minus 425. So, I mean, yeah, they're going to win this series barring something weird happening. Kevin Fiala's out for the season. Like that, hurts them. But hey, good for them. They were aggressive. They went and got Artemi Panarin. I like an Adrian Kempe on that team. Kopitar's last hurrah. Quentin Byfield, decent young player, scored for the Kings tonight in a 3-1 loss at the Flames. And, they kind of, were trying in that game tonight for seeding purposes. They probably wanted to avoid Colorado. Really nothing they could do because Edmonton and Anaheim won. But they didn't know. Like the Oilers game, puck dropped simultaneously with theirs. So they didn't know. Maybe when they saw that the Oilers were up big, they kind of pulled off the reins a little bit. They eased off the gas pedal. Maybe that's what happened. But, I mean, I told you earlier tonight, Raj, like, yeah, more so than the Ducks or the Oilers, the Kings are, a little more physical, that slower style that annoys you. They're just going to try to slow Colorado down. Okay, fine. But this should be no more than 5. This really should be no more than 5.
Yeah, the history with Colorado and LA has been 2 7-game series in which the Avalanche have been up 3-1 and completely dominating the series. And then it just goes to 7 games somehow. And then Colorado crushes LA in game 7. Now, those series date all the way back to 2001 and 2002, one of which the Avalanche won en route to a Stanley Cup championship, and that was the series in which Peter Forsberg ruptured his spleen in that 2001 series, and the Avalanche were not with him for the Western Conference Final or the Stanley Cup Final, and it still didn't matter. That's how good they were that year, Spring. I expect it to be more of the same in terms of the Avs dominate through the first 4 games, whether it's a sweep or they've got a 3-1 series. I don't see it going all the way to 7, man.
No.
LA doesn't score nearly enough to keep up with Colorado, and they're not good enough at keeping the puck out of their own net. Now, they've got better goaltending with Anton Forsberg, and Darcy Kemper has been better in the second half of the season, but them being a middle-of-the-road defending team and a bottom 5 scoring team in the National Hockey League does not bode well for them against a healthy Avs roster. They do hit a lot of guys, man. I guess that sucks. Like, they hit everything that moves. The 3 games that Colorado played against Los Angeles this year were the 3 games in which a opponent hit Colorado the most. LA didn't sniff a win.
Yeah. Looking forward to game 1 on their home ice. We know the time. We know it's going to be Sunday at 1. They're going to kick off. The Avs and Kings on TNT will be game 1 of a quadruple header, with the latter 2 being on ESPN. Avs Kings will get the festivities going. I expect, I know you're going to see everybody. You're going to see Nazem Kadri as your third line center. I haven't seen him since he broke his finger. Obviously McKinnon and Natchez and Landeskog, who did not play tonight, and I think Josh Manson will play.
Josh Manson will be playing. Bednar said today in his pregame interview that everyone is completely healthy and playing in round 1, game 1.
Yeah. So, I mean, it honestly should be a pretty straightforward series. Now, like you said, the Kings lay a lot of hits. Does something happen in this series? Can you avoid injury? But other than that, and maybe LA gets a game, maybe in game 3 or 4, in LA, Will Ferrell's going to be in the building. Welcome to the Colorado Avalanche life, Will Ferrell. You're going to get introduced to that. Saw him and Steve Carell were at a Kings game recently. Will goes to a lot of those games.
Yeah, Will loves hockey.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I like stuff like that. Kind of wanted Kings Oilers part 12, but we're not going to get that. Instead, the Avs will have the luxury of playing the Kings. Oilers Ducks is actually kind of interesting series.
Yeah, it's interesting. Edmonton feels like they're clicking for some reason right now, though. I would be nervous if I'm in the Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, so McDavid, I saw he had 4 assists tonight. And the Oilers did what they needed to do. They wanted to avoid the Avs. Although there was really no because the Kings lost, it didn't matter. And again, I mean, if you're the Kings, their last 2 games, lose in Vancouver, lose in Calgary. That's not exactly the way you want to go into a series against the best team in hockey and kind of a generational type team in a way. Because again, this Avs team is similar to those Penguins and Blackhawks teams, and the Avs are trying to be the first team since the Blackhawks in 2013 to win the President's Trophy and win the Cup. If you're the Kings, I mean, you're finishing losing at Vancouver, at Calgary, and now you got to go play Colorado. Like, that's not how I want to go into that series. Whereas the Avs, they can't help themselves. They finished the season on a 3-game win streak in games that didn't even matter. But yeah, the Oilers and the Ducks, like, I'm good for Anaheim fighting back and winning that game tonight in Nashville. But McDavid's playing well if Draisaitl plays in that series, but I like all the matchups. I think all the matchups across the NHL in these playoffs, I think we've got really good matchups. Yeah, a couple of 2-3s are unfortunate, but
I think we got decent ones. The LA Colorado matchup is not a good matchup. That's a shitty series. The Kings, dude, like, there is no
that were possible. Like, the Kings, look, they traded for Panarin. There's something there.
There's not anything there. I don't know what you're seeing. I really don't understand what you're seeing out of LA. Dude, they are a bottom 3 PK team. They are a bottom 5 power play team. They are a bottom 5 overall scoring team, and they're the 15th best defensive team in the National Hockey League. Like, they have 21 regulation wins. Like, there's nothing to be scared about.
Well, they finished 5 points back of the Knights, who won that division.
That division was shit. It's the NFC
I know it was.
South.
Look, but the Kings have been a playoff team year in, year out. They finally made a swing to go get, a big-time offensive player in Artemi Panarin. I'm just saying, as far as 1/8s go, like, there's some, like, in terms of, like, on paper, if you look at the, like, San Jose would have been fun, celebrating just, the night he had tonight and, at 19 years old, becoming the, Sharks, having the best season in Sharks history, surpassing Joe Thornton. That would have been fun. But the Avs are going to beat any of these teams. Look, I think on paper, if you're selling a 1-8 matchup, the Kings and the Avs, the Avs are going to win the series, but it's okay. They were buyers. They're aggressive. They've been a player. Yeah, they get beat by the Oilers every year, but they have experience. Some of their younger players are coming into their own a little bit. Byfield, Laferriere, Raj. I'm trying to beat all of them.
That is true.
Kings are a perfectly fine, formidable 8-seed opponent.
They're an 8-seed opponent, and that's where the sentence ends. They are the LA Kings are not a formidable team.
As an 8-seed, it's not.
If we were to go 1 through 16, like a lot of people want the NHL playoffs to be is 1 through 16, the Kings would miss the playoffs by 4 spots.
If we were to go 1 through 8,
it's not a serious hockey team. No, if we were to go 1 through 16 overall, even forget the conferences,
overall. Well,
they would miss it by 4.
Yeah, but dude, so would any other team that would have made the 8th seed in the West. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as what the possible 1-8 matchups were,
it's not a good hockey team, man. I'm sorry. We're talking about they lost Kevin Fiala too, who's like their best player.
I know. Yeah, no, the Avs are going to win this series. But if I'm just looking at all the matchups on paper, this team versus this team, the way it all played out throughout the entire league, I like all the matchups. I do. I can look at every single matchup in these playoffs and find something interesting about each series.
I can agree with you everywhere but the Kings and the Avalanche because I think it's such a gross mismatch. I think Stars and Wild is a bloodbath. I think the Mammoth are a really exciting team that have been building for years and made some really good offseason additions. And if not for a lull in the middle of the season, they would have challenged the Wild for the 3 seed in the Central. Oilers and Ducks will be fun. I don't know if it'll be as fun as an Oilers and Kings rematch number 5, but I still think Oilers, the way they're playing, probably would have dispatched with LA in 5 games again this year. Sabres and Bruins is awesome. Lightning and Canadiens will be a goal fest. And I think Penguins and Flyers is going to be a bloodbath too. But I think Crosby, Malkin, and Letang get through that series. And there's a lot of people, man, that are mega high on Linus Ullmark, Brady Tkachuk, and the Ottawa Senators. And a lot of people think they can win that series against Carolina. I don't know enough about Ottawa, but there's a lot of big heads saying that could be a series upset.
Oh, no, Ottawa was a team that, I looked at Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit, who ended up missing the playoffs, which is crazy because they were doing really well midway through the season. And then Buffalo, I viewed them in that category, but I just never trusted them. And then lo and behold, Buffalo was the team that really broke through. Montreal as well. Yeah, Ottawa's a solid little team. And Carolina's not the Avs, so that 1-8 is that's like a legit 1-8. That's a 1-8 where you're for Carolina, you are kind of shit. You should win that series, and you probably will. But yeah, no, look, Avs Kings of all the series, this is the one that is, yes, this is the biggest guarantee. The safest bet is that the Avs are going through. But look, man, I'm just trying to sell you on this series a little bit. If I'm a promoter, if I'm Gary Bettman, and I'm, why should you watch this series? G Bruin, we're gonna get to see Anze Kopitar's last game.
There you go.
Anze Kopitar's last game will be against the Avs. Hey, Drew Doughty was once pretty damn good. I don't know. Look at the Penguins and what they did this year. Erik Karlsson, Doughty can have a little renaissance. Who knows? Maybe, and I'm interested with this goaltending situation with the Kings. Is it an Anton Forsberg team right now? Do the Avs just piss pound them early in this series and then they go to Kemper and then Kemper gives him a little life and has some juice and some energy against, his former team that he won a cup with, and everyone overlooks him, even though he has had good numbers since he, left the Avs. There are some things there. I don't think I'm selling you well, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
You are trying to sell me on it, and I just don't see it. I'm looking through some advanced statistics. Their expected goals for LA is 8th in the league. So the nerd picker stats tell you that they have not scored nearly as much as their possession says they should. So I guess that's something. What's their goal differential above expected? Let's see. They're dead in the middle of the league in goal differential above expected.
No, yeah, yes, they are an average hockey team.
I'm just trying to find something to scare me, and I don't see anything that scares me. Like San Jose would have had something that scares me. Like Macklin Celebrini scoring 45 goals as a 19-year-old is scary.
Sure.
Having well over 100 points, I think he had 115 as a 19-year-old was a little scary to me. Nashville with UC Saros and those veteran players that have been there, done that, and with like Philip Forsberg scoring 40 and Steven Stamkos scoring 42 this year, that would have scared me. I'm trying to find something about this Kings team that makes me like shit my pants a little bit, and I just don't have it.
But again, I'm not because. Okay, I mean, Bandit says in the chat, all Avs are healthy 4-0. To be honest, my prediction is 4-0. My prediction is 4-0, okay? But I'm just trying to say, like, here's why and where maybe the Kings have a minute chance, okay?
Like, what happens?
Sports are weird. Anything is possible.
You know what's really nice about this matchup is Colorado gets, let's say, between 4 and 6. It's not going to go that far, but 4 and 6 games against one of the worst special teams units in the National Hockey League, both on power play and penalty kill. They are bottom 3 in PK. They are bottom 5 in power play. You get to make yourself feel good about the power play going into a series with Dallas. And your penalty kill, which was the number 1 unit in the National Hockey League this year, gets to continue to dominate someone. And maybe even we get to see a shorthanded goal to get that offensive uptick on the PK for Logan O'Connor or Parker Kelly or Arturi Lehkonen. Someone gets to jump and go score on a shorthanded opportunity. I think that's a bright spot for me with the LA Kings coming to town, is that special teams gets 8 days to make themselves feel good going into the Dallas series or the Minnesota series.
And a chance to, I really do think no more than 5, a chance to, get in, get out. That they've been dying to play meaningful hockey. Like they are going to be, they're going to be laser focused on Sunday, and having Gabe Landeskog back, like truly back, is huge because he helps with that focus level. A chance to have a quicker series and watch Minnesota and Dallas do their thing, and you reap the rewards of the 1 seed. This was the most valuable playoff position in the NHL, was the 1 seed in the Western Conference, because there is 1 seed that is not like there are 2 that are not like the others. One is the 1, and that's Colorado, and the other is the 8, and that's the Kings. Everything else, if you drew any other opponent and you're any other team, you're in a toss-up series. Like Vegas, Utah. I know Tortorella comes in and they finish strong. That's great. I don't think Vegas played any world beaters down the stretch. When they beat Colorado, the Avs had nothing to play for, and that game went to overtime. Utah's going to give Vegas a couple problems. Utah could win that series. I think that, Edmonton, nice tonight and maybe a little better down the stretch, but what's Draisaitl's status? For the Ducks, it's a reset. That could be tight. All the series in the East could be tight. The one series in the NHL that you can look at and say, I can squint, I can do what Spring just did and try to mental gymnastic this thing, but beyond that, it's the one truly lopsided series. You know, the other series that I actually do think that I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, I like that one, that I feel pretty confident in my pick would be Buffalo to beat Boston.
Buffalo's been a great team.
Yeah, Buffalo's
ever
actually
since,
pretty damn good.
December?
And I think Boston, they started they were a little uneasy in the back half of the season. That would be the other one I would look at. But hey, for Buffalo, this is their first ticket to the dance.
Yeah, 15 years.
And think about coming into that not as a road team. You're hosting. You're hosting of like, man, you kind of took a little jump out of nowhere. How do they handle that? How do they handle that in a matchup that the other one that I look at and say, oh, Buffalo on paper is a better team. They should win that series, but they don't have the experience. The Avs have all the experience in there. What I say, is the number one lopsided matchup.
Yeah, I wonder what the energy is inside Buffalo, like with that crowd. Is that just we haven't been here in 15 years and we're going to party our asses off and we're going to feel great about it? Or is it we haven't been here in 15 years, let's not screw this up? And it's like this weird nervous energy in the building. And then, Jeremy Swayman stops 34 of 36 shots and Boston wins the first game 3-2. And then everyone's puckered up in Buffalo. That's a really good point of, I feel great about Buffalo, but 15 years of not being at the dance is a long time.
Yeah, no, that's because Buffalo should win that series. But, the Avs, when they won the President's Trophy, should have beaten the Knights, I don't know, man. But yeah, I do like Buffalo in that series. To me, that's number 2, but it's clear what number 1 is in terms of like matchups I look at and say, no. And this one, this isn't groundbreaking stuff. Sometimes the obvious take is the correct take. And this is one where it's just like, oh, the Avs they're going to win the series. And if the Avs don't win this series, if the Avs lose to this Kings team, I don't know what happens, but that is a massive disappointment if you lose this Kings series, because it's almost unfathomable that they would lose this series.
It's blow it up. Like you'd have to do something insane.
That's where it's like, there's no jinxing here. It's that imperative that they win this series because they're such heavy favorites. They need to win this series. Guys were given extra chances to get to this point. They must win this series.
They'll be fine, Spring. There's not going to be any issues whatsoever. They'll be fine. I look at the bracket. I think it's the only series that could be a sweep.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see any other series in the first round that's going to go 4 games other than I could see Colorado being LA in 4 games.
Yep.
There's a few 5-gamers out there for sure.
Sure.
But there's no other sweeps on the board, in my opinion.
I agree. League's too tight. League's too deep. And except for this matchup. Dallas, unless Dallas was playing, they're who they should be playing, the 7 seed. But instead, they're playing Minnesota.
And who would be the 7 seed?
If we were just going 1 through 7 in the West.
If we were just going 1 through 7
through 8.
in the West. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would still be Utah.
I see Anaheim.
Oh, excuse me. You're right. I went backwards on tiebreaker. It would be Anaheim. It would be Dallas, Anaheim. That would be another potential for sweep.
I agree with
Dallas,
you there.
Anaheim.
I agree.
It would be a potential for sweep.
So if we were going 1 through 8, it's Colorado, LA, potential sweep, and actual potential sweep. Dallas, Anaheim, potential sweep, not an actual series. Minnesota hosting Utah, no potential for a sweep.
Yeah, I'd say that's at least series. 5.
And then Vegas and Edmonton would be the 4-5. What a battle that would be.
See, if the NHL did
Someone
1
gets
through
screwed.
8, you're still getting a great 4-5.
Yeah, you're still getting an unreal series.
Man. And instead of Dallas having a potential sweep on their hands, they're looking at, I think, at least 6.
Dang.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
All right, Spring. I just wanted to do a quick one today. I got to level with you. I have been at the studio for nearly 16 hours today with like a 30-minute break, and I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's a heck of a day right there.
So
we did 90 minutes before the Avs game on 92.5, and we're doing an hour, right?
Yeah, we'll do an hour live from Brooklands, which is that brick building, that long-standing bar and restaurant right on Shoppers Circle outside of the main entrance at the West Concourse of Ball Arena. We will be there for a full hour before pregame. Me and Spring doing the rounds. Tyson Berry's going to be there. Other Avalanche alumni will be there. We're going to be giving away signed things, and I'm sure the Chili Ones guys will be out there giving away samples or some beers and stuff on tap, is my understanding. And then we'll have a pregame show at 12:30 and puck drop just shortly after 1, man.
So it's looking like we'll be out there 11:30 to 12:30, something like that.
Yep.
On Sunday. And that obviously comes the day after the Nuggets host the Wolves. So what a weekend it's going to be. Can't wait for it. And Sunday morning it is for Between the Pipes pregame with me and Raj.
The only conflict game that we will have as Nuggets and Avalanche viewers in this first round will be each team's third game, their first game on the road. Nuggets at Minnesota, Denver, or rather Colorado at Los Angeles on the NHL side. That'll be Thursday night, April 23rd. The Nuggets tip off at 7:30 p.m. and the Avalanche have puck drop just after 8 p.m. that night Mountain Time. A reminder, you can watch all of the Avalanche games on Altitude TV with all of your favorites, Mark Mosier, Mark Raycroft, John Michael Lyles. They'll have the first round series on Altitude, and then it goes to national after the first round. There's been a massive change in the NBA this year. While we will have pregame shows and postgame shows on Altitude Television, the actual broadcasts have gone away from regional and local television. Those are all national. So if you want your local stations for actual play-by-play, the Nuggets will be on 92.5 or AM 950, depending on who gets that Thursday game on 92.5. Every game with Kaz, every game with McGahee, Altitude TV, only Avalanche games in round 1, no Nuggets games at all.
And us after every single game.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry.
As per usual.
We'll be right here on wherever you guys watch us, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on Twitch. We'll be here with you guys. Can't wait for it. All right, come hang out with us. Brooklyn's 11:30 in the morning on Sunday, and then a 1 p.m. Spring. Good to see you. 121 points. The Avs are really freaking good, and they're going to kill the Kings starting on Sunday. See you guys then.